Bull, let's get to our first topic of the day.
What is our first topic of the day? I don't even remember.
So many good rants. No, Kevin Stefanski was asked yesterday how much the starters. I sent the rundown last night.
Yeah,
we had three conversations about it this morning. But
go ahead.
Kevin Stefanski said the starters are going to play 20 to 25 snaps.
Oh, that's right.
Against the Chiefs on Saturday in the final preseason game.
That's right.
Is that the right amount of snaps? Too few? Too many? Should he be
flexible? He says 25 plays, but we don't know. He's not going to be stuck at that exact amount. I think, I've never been a big, you have to play guys in preseason. But in the last year, I guess, I'm sick of this being scared to get guys hurt. Now, here's a mistake that I think people make. Deshaun Watson doesn't need to play to prove something to us. That's meaningless. Mm-hmm. We're not making decisions for the Browns. He needs to play to prove something to himself. Because it appears to me that he doesn't seem like he's ready. Now, again, I don't know. I'm not in Deshaun Watson's head. But that's my impression of the situation. If Deshaun Watson felt like he was 100% ready, I don't think he'd be playing this game at all. But clearly he doesn't, and clearly Stefanski doesn't. So he needs to play enough that he's comfortable, if that's possible, that he's comfortable and ready to go week one. And I don't think he has to this point, G.
For me, I have a very difficult time rolling into the preseason for all the people involved with my quarterback only throwing 3 balls.
Yeah.
He's only threw 3 passes, right? And I know people can say, okay, well, you got to look. And after that game, I said I was excited about that as well. But at the end of the day, 25 snaps is not enough, man. Like, I need to, if let's see more of DTR's game and him being put in the positions to play, right? I mean, I don't know how comfortable I am going into a season where I'm like, okay, well, we don't know if you've thrown the ball. We don't know what Amari Cooper looks like. We don't know we don't know any of that. Now, if he wanted to come into the game and say we want to sit certain people, like, all right, Chubb is a running back. You don't need to see that.
Right.
Even if he said, okay, we're not even going to give you Amari Cooper. But, man, would it be great for some of the young receivers to catch the football from Deshaun Watson? Would it be great to see what your offensive line is going to be able to do to look like against a perennial power in the AFC? Sure, you should. To me, they should be playing a half. That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
And on top of it, they've even played extra preseason game with the Hall of Fame game, and they still was chilling.
No,
so
I'd like them to play even a little more than half. I'd like him to come out for the first possession of the second half and then shut it down. That's what I'd like to see.
So
Earl?
for me, I want to see them play 2 or 3 series, right? And this is the reason why I want to see 2 or 3 series. Because 20-25 plays, that's kind of vague. A quarter, 2 quarters, that's kind of vague in my opinion. This is why I want to see it. I want to see how the initial drive goes on offense, and then I want to see how they come back out in that second series and respond to whatever adjustments that the Kansas City Chiefs defense make. And if we kind of like get hit in the mouth, then that third drive, I want to see how we respond to getting hit in the mouth. So it's kind of like punch, counter punch. Okay, let's see if you can get knocked down, get up, and then go out there and execute a fluid drive. With you all, I do agree, throwing 3 balls for your starting quarterback in the preseason, that's not ideal. A lot of people are afraid of injuries, but this is the game to where you want to see how the Cleveland Browns offensive chemistry is, how they react to getting hit in the mouth so they can be ready. As you alluded to, we're 20 days away from Cincinnati. I don't want us to get hit in the mouth against Cincinnati and then don't have the mental stability necessary to recover from that.
Yeah.
So against the Super Bowl champions where they're playing their starters, this is the dress rehearsal. Give me 3 strong series. The first series, let me see how you execute. Let me see how you execute once Kansas City makes some adjustments. And if they do adjust and to get the better of you, then let me see how you come back out on that third drive and respond to that.
The possibility that Deshaun Watson would come out of this game before Patrick Mahomes, I mean, think about the absurdity of that. You've got one of, if not the best coaches in the NFL in Kansas City. You've got the best quarterback who just won a Super Bowl, who's won 2 Super Bowls already in 10 seconds in the league. If he's playing more in the last preseason game than Deshaun Watson, who's barely played the last 2 years, with a coach that's proven nothing, that's a problem to me.
And including you throw in, it's a new system.
Yeah.
It's a brand. We went from running the ball the most out of any team in the NFL, just about, with running play action and things like that. Now all of a sudden we got a new offense We got young guys that look like they're going to contribute in this Austin guy, right? I want to see Austin Watkins play with Deshaun Watson. I want to see if he's good. I want to see if Cedric Tillman is that guy when he plays with Watson. I want to give those guys, I want to see more DPJ. I'm confused as to why they got him on ice like he's Michael Irvin. DPJ is not.
It is weird. What is going on with him?
Like, there's a lot of people on ice right now that I don't feel like they deserve to be on.
No, you're right.
I haven't seen Ogbo. Where you been at? You made a play the first. It's a lot of dudes on ice right now, and I feel like you could take this opportunity of playing against good. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: that last week against Philadelphia, everybody. This is how all this stuff started, where people was kind of mad and upset. And you got Deshaun Watson coming back. It's because people is trying to make something out of it that it ain't. Mm-hmm. These dudes is out here practicing, hey, if it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 12, and it's 7-on-7, well, let's get this right. There's no threat of a pass, a run. There's no threat of a screen or a draw. The quarterback's not going to take off and run. The defense knows exactly what you're going to run because it's 3rd and long period. You're practicing 3rd and over 10, 12 yards. So, yes, if you get some balls knocked down, they're going to know that. But in the game, they're not going to really have that. They don't know what the play is coming. So you got a bunch of people commenting on that, trying to make it a game, right? Well, here's what you do. Just put them in a game and see how they act under game reps.
The bottom line is, in any kind of practice, scrimmage, whatever, the quarterback has no fear of getting hit.
None.
And if the quarterback has no fear of getting hit, it's nothing like a game.
Zero.
In a game, the quarterback knows and has to deal with mentally that he might get destroyed on every single play. That every play, there's a possibility he's going to take a hit that ends his career. I know that's extreme, but to some degree, that's what a quarterback has to deal with mentally when he's on the football field. And that doesn't exist in practice. And so it's not the same. It's not that you can't get something. I talked on my podcast last week about the whole preseason, whether it's OTAs, mini camps, training camp, preseason games, it's all part of one giant puzzle, right? We, as the public, only see the games, pretty much, unless you go to practice. But we don't see the film study. We don't see most of the stuff that's part of the puzzle. So this part of the puzzle, though, the scrimmages, these things are all important. But in terms of the games, there's nothing else that can simulate a game. Nothing for a quarterback who knows, at least a wide receiver, maybe he's going to get hit in practice. Probably not like a game, but he might get. But a quarterback's not getting hit. They're very careful about that.
This is how I could compare it. I can remember being at media school, right, and being in the studios and doing practice shows. Getting reps in
doing a final.
Yeah, doing my final to get on the radio, right. To just getting those repetitions in. But all those practice shows, it's part of the overall, goal to get to where you want to be. But it doesn't always translate to when you're actually live on air and now it's time to go. So I think, including Deshaun Watson, but not just Deshaun Watson, this offense is different. And chemistry matters for everybody, not just Deshaun, but for everybody on that offensive unit. And you can do film study, you can do all these different scrimmages, you can have all these reps in practice. But until you get out there in a game and actually executing against a different team, then you don't know if the chemistry is truly there or not. So just looking outside of Deshaun Watson, for me, the reason I want to see 2 to 3 series is because I want to see what this offensive chemistry is like, not just for the one series if you have some success, but I want to see what it's like when, they make adjustments and you don't have that type of success. Right. How do you pick it up? So I hear everything you all saying about Deshaun Watson, but I guess for me, I'm looking at totality. The play calling, the wide receivers, the offensive line, Deshaun Watson, who's ever in the backfield. So that's why it's that important to me, because I agree with you. You can't replicate in practice what can happen in a game. You need to be able to play in the game to get that feeling.
I was watching Hard Knocks the other day, and I just, took a look at it, episode 1, and they had Aaron Rodgers talking to Wilson, right? The guy they drafted first.
Garrett Wilson.
No, the quarterback.
Zach Wilson.
So Zach Wilson, they're saying, all right, we're going to just have you we're going to act like the first 2 years don't count. You're a backup, you're learning. So he's still on the roster, and Aaron Rodgers, every single play, is talking to him. So they were going through this play where they had the progression. They was just going over the steps, right? Like, so for people that don't know, when quarterbacks go through play action, every play action has their own rhythm and steps and drop back. So it's like learning how to do a dance. So Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, you got the dance down, right? You know how to do it. He said, but here's the thing. You got to learn how to do the dance off point. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, no one's going to let you just, your play actions aren't going to be a straight drop back. Sometimes you're going to have to evade a rusher. And he says, by the time you get to this step here, the ball has to be gone. If you take another step, you automatically can only throw it to that receiver because that's the only one left, or you got to take off or throw the ball. So he was explaining to him, it's about the timing of it. It's like if you get pressure, it's going to be a different look. And after you get pressure, theoretically to one side, there's only one receiver you could throw the ball to because of your body placement where you are on the field. And I thought that was really fascinating how he went through that and was talking about it because Zach Wilson didn't even know. Like he was like, "What's this?" Like didn't even correlate to him. So
it's fascinating.
Yeah,
it really is because, and you think about it, we talk about rust with Deshaun Watson, which he showed, but rust is really bad timing.
Yes,
right. And Deshaun Watson had no timing. His timing was completely off last year.
Yep,
and I guess it's harder to bring that back than clearly we all thought, because none of us thought he would have the rust he had last year.
Yeah.
And he still has not played much for 2 years. So play him in this freaking game a lot. I don't know.
I mean, and plus, like, I don't know if I feel comfortable the fact that when he was dropping back, Jedrick Wills and guys were giving up pressure. Like we say we have a good offensive line. Right? But what we really want to say is from guard to guard, we're really good.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
On the tackles, it's hit or miss. To be honest with you, it's hit. They get lumped into it a lot, and we have a lot of projection. So we'll project that the line is great when you look at the numbers or you look at the film. It's just not very good. So you're hoping it's like that. My thought process is Jedrick Wills is going to have to learn how to play with a scrambling quarterback. He can't grab on the outside. He can't. After a certain point, we talked to Joe Thomas about it. He said it's a big difference between a regular 7-step drop guy than it is with a guy that can extend plays, because you want to hold him up and you want to grab. But usually what happens is defensive ends see where the ball's going, and guess what linemen do? They grab on, and then there's the holding penalty, negating a big penalty. That's a big part of it with Deshaun.
Can I challenge you on that just a little bit?
Sure.
I don't feel like, the learning curve to play with a scrambling quarterback for Jed Wills should be that extreme. You know why? Because he blocked for Tua and he blocked for Jalen Hurts when he was at Alabama. So you know how to play with mobile quarterbacks. To me, when it comes to this man, it's all about effort. And to me, I don't see much effort from this dude ever. It's like you're not really invested in being a good left tackle. That's just my opinion. I can be totally off base, but this is what I see from him.
Right.
I go back to the Commanders game. Deshaun Watson takes off for a 10-yard scramble, and everybody's praising the scramble. Chase Young just blew you off the line. I just have a hard time believing that, he can keep Deshaun Watson upright for 17 games. We sit here, Bull, and we harp on Deshaun got to do this, Deshaun got to do that. He can't do a damn thing if he's running for his life every single play.
Joe Burrow's been running for his life for 2 years.
That's
true.
Good
quarterbacks can overcome that. Good quarterbacks can overcome an offensive line, and the Browns have a much better offensive line than the Bengals did. Bengals has gotten better, but still, the good quarterbacks can deal with that. You're right. It does seem like there's a lack of effort at times, but G is still right. Even though he blocked for those guys in college, he has not been blocking for a mobile quarterback in the NFL, and he played right tackle in college. He didn't play left tackle.
It's a little different.
So in the NFL, in a way, he's become a new player, because he's had to adjust to a new position, and he's never had to block for a mobile quarterback at left tackle. So that does make a difference. The little, it's nuanced, but it makes a difference. And in the NFL now, though, as an offensive lineman, most quarterbacks now at least have some mobility.
Yes.
That you got to be up. You got to be ready to do that. Because it used to be there was only a few guys.
Statues.
But
there's only two guys.
How many statues are left?
There's two. And I could be.
Who?
Mac Jones, I think, is still considered a statue, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Is he mobile enough?
Mobile enough.
I don't know.
I
Do you
think
consider
moved better than
CJ? Do you
Dan
consider
Marino.
CJ Stroud a statue?
no, CJ can move. He just
can
refused
move,
to
he
do
just
so.
don't do
No.
it.
I'm
He
just
refused to
asking.
do
I'm
so.
not, Jimmy G.
He can move a little
He can
bit.
move.
That's it. I mean, Jared Goff. He can move a little. Like no one's.
Now golf is a little bit of.
Goff and Jimmy G
And
are kind of
Bull,
statues,
you're
I
right.
think.
Joe Burrow been hit, and I'm not making
Yeah.
excuses for Deshaun Watson because
Yeah.
before, leading up into 2020, Deshaun Watson had a lot of success,
Yeah.
and at that time, he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL.
That's right.
He had never played behind a great line, so I'm not gonna make excuses that because of the tackle situation that's the end all be all. It's
Yeah.
just that for whatever reason, I just don't have that much faith in Jed Wills being productive. Not because he can't, it just seems like he doesn't want to.
Well, I don't know if he can. I don't know. It's hard to say he doesn't want to. It looks that way at times.
It looks that way.
I think if the Browns felt that way, I don't think they would have picked up his option.
If
they felt he wasn't given any effort. I agree. It looks that way sometimes.
Well, they have to. They
Yeah.
got options now. So if trust and believe. If he's getting destroyed,
Yeah.
they got options that are on the bench, name brand options too,
Yeah.
that they can bring in and upgrade.
But they haven't been trying DeJuan Jones at left tackle, which I don't
No.
understand.
They did yesterday for the first time.
Oh, they did?
He, according to practice reports, he got
Interesting.
10 to 15 half snaps at left tackle.
Did you
Not
see
in
that
the full
picture?
team on team with him next to Jakeem Grant.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah.
You guys?
No, I didn't.
They play the same sport.
We can throw it up there. Hold on.
Yeah,
play
you
the
got to
same
see this
sport.
picture. It's so funny.
By the way, there's I forgot about it. David Njoku. I don't who rests tight ends?
I don't understand. You'd think these guys were superstars the way
Like,
some of these guys get.
these
Kevin
dudes-
Stefanski, he's got to play these guys, man. It's a little.
And
Here,
Can I make
this-
one point real quick? The one thing we missed, and Anthony's going to put it up on tag board with DeJuan Jones and Jakeem Grant.
Yeah.
And, Boy, I think you were just going down this line.
Yeah.
We talk about how good we think the Browns' offense can be this year if everything
They
comes
got a lot
together.
to prove.
We know who Nick Chubb is. He does. If he doesn't see the preseason field,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
care
totally
about
okay. But Tonio, the guys,
Yeah.
the majority of this offense is relatively unproven.
Yes.
And they have certainly unproven together in this system because, frankly, Deshaun Watson played 6 games. It's a new offensive philosophy. They have new weapons. Guys like Njoku, who, despite being paid, have never played at the performance
Right.
that
And it's-
quantifies a top 5 contract
Right.
to this point. Not saying he can't, but to this point. And when I look at how certain teams operate in the preseason, and I side on the air of caution. I'd rather they not play at all, but if they're going to play, you play them. I don't
this idea
understand
of
the-
playing in the side of caution. Like, you can't live that way. You can't
No, I
live
know.
in
I'm just
your
telling you
fears.
that-
You can't be scared of guys getting hurt. If they're they're freaking football players.
No, that's my point. If you're going to play them, play them.
Yeah.
The fact I'm going to play on one drive and that's going to make a difference. If you're only going to play 1 or 2 drives,
Yeah.
I
I
said
like that.
don't even play them. If you're going to play them, play them.
It's a
If you're
fair
not,
point.
don't.
That's a fair point. I would rather him. If they weren't gonna play him, they're gonna play him a couple series. To me, I just say don't play him at all.
I disagree with that though, because I mean, if he's saying 20, 25 snaps, a couple series can end up being a half depending on the floor of the game. I think you gotta play him. There's no listen after this game, you have nothing, no game action until
Well,
you
that's
go
what
up
I'm saying,
against
you gotta play him more.
Cincinnati. So like, I'm with you. I don't really. You can't live in your fears of Deshaun Watson might get hurt.
Yeah.
This guy might get hurt. It's football. Hell, the first time Deshaun Watson got hurt in his NFL career, it wasn't even in the game. It was in practice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these things can happen, but you got to throw them out there. You got to throw the entire offense out there because it is unproven. And it's going to be unproven until they prove
Yeah.
themselves, but it's just about, to me, getting that chemistry and that timing down, and an opportunity against the Super Bowl champions
Yeah.
is a great tune-up for Joe
Yeah,
Burrow and the
that's
Bengals.
right.
To me,
Yeah.
there's a couple guys I don't get it. Delpit has not touched the field
At
all
all.
year. Njoku has not touched the field at all. Greg Newsome has not touched the field at all. Like Donovan Peoples-Jones, I have not seen him.
What is going on? Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what's happening.
DPJ, it's actually a mystery because do you remember when Tyvis came in and he said Watson looked like Tom Brady after the first practice? He goes, DPJ was making all these catches. I don't need DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Have you heard, not just on this show, but anyone in the city mention DPJ's
At
name
all?
once
No,
since
I
then?
don't know what's going on.
Like, I'm asking
I
you
don't
serious.
know.
I don't
No.
know. He hasn't played in the preseason. Delpit doesn't seem to be hurt, but he hasn't played. Njoku hasn't played. Granted, the offense, with the starters have only played
Yeah.
one
I
series.
I mean,
but
Jakeem Grant has not paid, or Harrison Bryant.
Well, I know the last game.
Brian's banged up. He's not back
Okay.
yet. Jakeem Grant made some plays.
The
in
last
practice
game,
yesterday.
Grant Delpit attended his graduation at LSU, so that's why he wasn't there. Now, with that being said, I do agree. You know, this is a guy who I consider to be a breakout player for 2023.
It's a contract year.
And it's like I've not heard, not saying that I've heard bad reviews, but I have not heard overwhelming reviews for him during camp, or it's like I haven't seen him. And then the Donovan Peoples-Jones thing, another guy contract year with a lot to prove.
The Browns have
You
a
need to
bunch
be
of
out
guys
there.
being treated like stars right now. What's happening here? Grant Delpit's going to his college graduation? What do you need to go to that for?
Man, listen.
Did. No, I'm not gonna.
I'm not knocking him for that.
I mean,
Good for him.
I didn't care. Graduating college is a great accomplishment. Actually going to the graduation, who cares? I wouldn't care.
But none of the starters played anyway. Like, that was the game against Philadelphia. None of the starters played, so instead of him staying on the sideline, what benefit does it have?
Just the general sense of guys being given more than they've earned. I said, I don't like that.
If I would rather them just come out and say it, like we're not gonna play starters, so don't even think about it. But here's all I'm saying, and I know a lot of people may be, I haven't jumped on the chat yet. A lot of people may have this type of mentality. Well, it's preseason, they don't want to get nobody hurt. It's not a big deal. Well, listen, hey, that's fine. Like, that's like if your mom comes home and tells you, like, hey, listen, did you study for that test?
Yeah.
And you be like, yeah, I study, I'm good. She's like, I'm gonna trust you. You're an adult, but you in trouble if you get a bad grade.
Right.
Now, you playing division rivals. I'm watching all these other teams playing, and you got three of the most pivotal games that you're gonna have on your schedule starting off. So I don't want to hear not one player say this. Well, you know, we're learning. You guys got to just calm down. What we doing? We trying to learn two systems. We got a new D coordinator.
That's right.
We implementing something on offense. We got to get on the same.
That's
Unacceptable, because you had all year to do that. You could have been playing. And by the way, Kevin Stefanski, if players are coming up to you being like, "Hey, I need some reps," like we need reps. Like you can't go into the first game against the Bengals, look dry, and be like, "Well, Deshaun Watson played 22 snaps."
Right. Two things. One, I'm done with Browns fans are champions at making excuses for why their team sucks. I'm not listening to any excuses, especially about rust. I don't want to hear about any of that this year. Deshaun Watson gets no pass. He's got to play well. Yep. He gets no pass. I gave him a pass for last year. I'm throwing it out. No pass for this year. And I don't want to hear about rust because Joe Burrow's not going to play the whole preseason.
Nope.
He's missing the whole preseason. Now, he plays like crap. You know, he don't get a pass either. Not that we're going to be talking about him. But, I forgot my second point. So, no. My second point real quick was I want to see the defense play against Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chiefs, who do have a proven excellent offensive line.
They should not be coming out before Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Nobody.
And final thing, the Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce Instagram videos are the best.
Very good podcast.
There was nothing better. Well, I don't watch the whole podcast, but I see some of the clips on Instagram. They're always hilarious.
Real quick before the fast track, the only player that gets a pass from not suiting up, not being around, is number 24. If you're not Nick Chubb, you don't get no superstar treatment.
Yeah, but he doesn't need a pass because we know he's going to play great.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's the only guy.
I'd be tempted not to play Myles Garrett, too. I'd be tempted.
For me, it's just Nick Chubb.
Yeah, for me, it's just Nick Chubb, too. All right, Mikey, what do you got?
Anthony, I know I just said we were going to do a Fanatics read, but instead we have a PCC question here that we're going to do for this one. So for this fast read, let me tell you all about our dear friends over at PCC Airfoils. If you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. Earl put a question up on the community tab today, asking the YouTube community tab, how long should the Brown starters play against Kansas City in the year's final preseason game? Over 900 votes, 3 options. 64% said 1 quarter and take them out. 32% said 1/2, and 4% said into the third quarter. So
We got too many fans that live in their fears. Living in the fears.
Drop that again. You say how many?
64% said
yes, 64,
one quarter.
I need 2 quarters, bro. I at least need half.
Only 4% said more than half.
I need a half. Man, I need a half, man.
You didn't give an option for none, huh?
We did not give an option for none. I stand by my point of if you're going to play him, play him. If you're only going to play him for a tiny bit,
All right,
don't
Mike,
even
let's
suit him up.
keep it moving here. Joel